Hey guys, Spray and Pray here, and welcome! Today we're going to be playing some Battlefield 4, and in order to celebrate my 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube, yeah, that's right, my first ever YouTube video was published on January 14th, and it's pretty terrible. It was about my World of Warcraft character, so if you want to check that out, I'll put it in the description just for lulz. But yeah, it's our 1-year anniversary today. Yeah, January 14th. I think I've said a couple different dates, but I actually went back and I looked, and it was actually January 14th that I published my very first video ever. We also just passed our 1,000 subscriber mark, which I'm so thrilled about. Thank you guys so much for showing that you like me and stuff like that, and by subscribing. I'm really glad that what I'm doing is something that you guys consider to be worth watching, because I was really concerned about that for a while. Anyways, to celebrate my 1-year anniversary and to go over like all of the good things that you guys have done for me, I want to do something good for you. And I think that the best way to help out you guys for the next year is to tell you guys how to play a game that I truly love better. Well, trying to get around some of the errors at least. Anyways, Battlefield 4 is like a really good game, and it gets a lot of flack because of things not really related to the game. Like perhaps people don't like how it's sold or it's handled, but one of the biggest gripes in the entire community is over the Battlefield 4's netcode. And some people don't even know what netcode is, and you complain about it. But if you know what it is, it's actually a lot easier and a lot less of an impact on you while you play. Basically, we're going to go over in this episode what netcode is, how it works, and how you can, sort of mitigate the damage that it does to you in the game. Now, basically what netcode is that everyone in the entire world, no matter how good your internet connection, you have a certain amount of lag of that, like, the data it takes to get from your computer to the server and back. That's basically what your lag is, and that you see that represented in Battlefield 4 next to the servers in a sort of ping fashion, where you would have a certain amount of milliseconds of ping, and there's whether it's like 15 or 300, everyone has a little bit of ping, or some little bit of latency in their Battlefield 4. Even if you live right on top of the server, there's like for some nanosecond you have some latency. Anyways, so everyone has this lag, but it's all in different amounts because it's very much based on geographically where you are related to the servers which run Battlefield 4. And so the game needs to somehow equalize that, because of course if someone has a 1 millisecond ping because they live on top of the server, that doesn't mean that they should be able to just raffle stomp anybody who lives just a mile away from the server who has like a 50 millisecond ping. That's not fair. So basically netcode is put into the game to balance that sort of thing, and so that everybody is sort of in the same time, so you're not like getting shot from the future and stuff like that. So netcode is what equalizes the amount of lag that people experience. So it kind of works like a time machine, I guess. It makes one instance of time on the server where everyone is kind of equal. But of course, it's a human thing. It's programmed by people, so it's got errors in it. And Battlefield 4 is notorious now for having a lot of errors in its netcode, and so it doesn't handle things as well as it probably could. And there's a bunch of other games out there that do it. Battlefield 3, for instance, did it slightly better, according to most people. And PlanetSide 2, that's a game that has a lot of people and probably a lot of different equalization problems, but it does it pretty well, and I would argue that it's better than Battlefield 4. So that's just a coding problem. Maybe they rushed when they were programming, maybe they rushed to meet a deadline set by EA. So this is not necessarily DICE's fault or the programmer's fault, but it is something that we're going to have to work around nonetheless. Some examples of why you might experience problems with the netcode would be if you just randomly die because someone just popped around a corner and they instantly shot you or something, and that's what it seems like to you. But the reason why that's happening is because on the server, in their little time zone where everyone is technically equal, or quote quote, for some reason they got ahead of you and they actually did kill you on the server. But it's just for some reason, through an error in the netcode, it seems to you that you got insta-killed, and that kind of sucks. And it also has to do with rubber banding, where you ran around a corner very clearly on your screen, however for some reason you're still getting shot with bullets that are coming around the corner because on your opponent's screen it looks like you're still there. So those are some instances of things that can happen when you have a poor netcode setup. Now there are many ways to fix the netcode, and that's on the programming side, but there's also some things that we can do as gamers to mitigate as much as possible the damage that this netcode that is poorly coded is going to do to us in game. Now, there's one that they've actually given us already in the game. It's called the network smoothing factor, and that is a slidey bar that you can access in the in-game options, and it's the second tab over, and it's one of those options. If you just scroll down, I think it's somewhere in the middle-ish area, and for some reason they set it at default. And the network smoothing factor basically trades your latency for graphics. So it's going to give you a higher ping, and therefore the netcode is going to have to deal with more stuff, and just to have better graphics. And I think that's silly. Why would you want to have better graphics in exchange for just getting killed around corners and stuff like that? That's dumb. So I always set it to 0, and it works. It makes my, the netcode, it gives it less of a burden that the netcode needs to handle. And that's basically how we're going to be fixing the netcode, is just like making it so that it doesn't have to do as much as we possibly can. We want the netcode to do as little work as possible. So by having a really low ping and being really fast, we're not going to have, the netcode isn't going to have to do as much to equalize all the players, so therefore it's not going to be used as much, therefore it's not going to have as many problems, or at least you're not going to see those problems as drastically as if you had a higher ping. Anyways, talking about ping is very important when selecting a server. Now, not only do you want to join your, super hardcore pistols only server, but you want to make sure that it has a good ping. I look for servers when I'm trying to play that have a ping of either 30 to 50 is like the maximum ping that I'm like acceptable playing with. I know that some people, you live in remote areas, or you're not able to use like a hardwired Ethernet, you have to use like wireless, or even worse, you have to use your cell phones as a wireless hotspot to play Battlefield 4, and I'm going to say that that's very horrible for not only you, but the other players, and you're going to talk about that in a little bit. So you guys have to be able to pick a server that has a really good ping, and then not only, once you get into the server, you have to go and, if you hit tab, you can actually see all the other players' pings, and if all the other player have some good pings, then you're going to have a good game. The netcode isn't going to have to do much, and you're not going to see many errors. But if you join a game where you have a 15 millisecond ping, and everybody else is in the 300s, that netcode is going to be working its ass off, and therefore making mistakes left and right. And I guarantee you that you're going to get shot around corners and insta-killed and all those horrible things that happen with the netcode nowadays. So please, go ahead, pick a server that you have a good ping on, and if everybody just picked a server they had a good ping on, then of course the world would be way, way better, and then all the netcode wouldn't even be an issue. You could all just be rolling around at 15 milliseconds, but, of course there's people out there that play on wireless, on their cell phone, and they're trying to use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You cannot use Wi-Fi on your cell phone to play a first-person shooter nowadays. You need either a very good wireless connection, basically you need to sit next to your wireless router, or you need to have an Ethernet cord. And I don't know, if you're going to sit next to your wireless router anyways, you might as well just plug in. So anyways, if you guys have any other ideas or comments about how you think you can fix the netcode, please put it in the description, or below the description in the comments, and we can actually talk about them, and you can let me know if there's any other ways that you guys have any little tricks that you know about how to reduce your lag and how to make the netcode work a little bit less, and so we don't have to worry about it as much. Please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I am going to be doing a question and answer series about getting 1,000 subs, and you can ask me questions please in the comments for that. I am really looking for a lot of questions. I don't have many at this moment. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the battlefield with a super fast ping, and we'll all do nice and have super awesome netcode, no problems, nothing at all, and it'll be awesome. Yay! I'll see you guys there. Spray and pray out.